So now we will learn about something about the Volley. Now what is Volley? Volley is basically a Google framework which is redesigned and kept so simple that you can actually use it without any hassles. Volley was designed with in mind, keeping the needs of the developers nowadays. So how do you start with Volley? You can just start with Volley by including it by typing this compile statement, by compiling the com.android.volley volley 1.0.0. If any other version is available in the future, you may change the version number accordingly. But for as of now, for me it is safe to use the version 1. As soon Volley is imported, you are ready to use your Volley library. Now how does Volley actually works? Basically, Volley is not something in which you will get response immediately. Volley is based on queues function. So basically you create a queue in Volley, then you add request to that queue to fetch information from the internet, and then you pre-specify the listeners for success and error in fetching the particular information for requests stored in the queue created by Volley. And after the requests have been processed, they are handled accordingly at the time they are delivered. So there is no predefined time, and the system does not hang till the request has not arrived or the response has not yet been received. So you can start off by creating a new request queue in Volley. So here basically I have created an app which shows the current geographic statistics by using this free service freegeoip.net/json. So basically this returns the answer in JSON format. Now first I would like to get you familiar with my activity file so you can see a real life application of Volley. Let me zoom in a bit for you. So this is an application or an activity specifically I've designed, and there's a button fetch now. Then there are text views, latitude, longitude, IP, code, name, region, area, city, zip, and finally zone, and many other properties. Since I have placed this all in a scroll view, I'll ensure that the user can access all these properties by simply scrolling and they do not overflow the screen. So first what I do, I declare all my text views so that I can access them properly and anywhere in the application. Then I create a JSON object that I will reuse for other purposes, but I'm currently setting it to null. Then there's a JSON object that is predefined in the Android structure. Then there's a new request queue, which is a feature of Volley. So I have a new queue, I have a string from where I have to fetch information, and I have a context. In my onCreate method, I get references to all the text views, then I get a button, and I set the onClick listen to that button to run the function worker. Let's go to worker. Now in the worker, I am creating an application context first. So first I use this.con is equal to get application context. So I'm basically storing the application current context in con variable. You may also directly type con, but it is safer to type this.com. Now I have a new queue that I have already created earlier, and I am giving it the value volley.newRequestQueue, and then I am passing context as a parameter to this function. Now this function will return me a new Volley queue, which I am storing it in queue. Now I am creating a new JSON object request, which is again a feature of Volley. So I name this request as obrec. I have derived the short name for object request. It's equal to new JSON object request. Then in that I have passed the first argument as how I am going to get that request. So I have responded with the request.method.get. So basically there are 4 methods to do interaction with any server: get, post, put, and delete. Get is used to fetch information, post is used to put information onto the server, and put and delete are other operations that are complex to understand at this stage for now. Then in the second parameter, I pass the URL that I just declared in the starting of my class. Then I pass the third argument as null and the fourth argument as a new response.listener with angular brackets JSON object. And in that I override the method on response, and then I first assign or store the JSON object response that will be passed to this onResponse method. As soon as Volley has finished processing the request, if it is successful, it will give me the JSON object response here, and then I will store it in my response and I will call showTResponse. and then there's an error listener defined in a similar way, but this time I will call shorty null, and I will also call error.print stack trace. After completing this JSON object request and defining this particular JSON object request, that is obrec, I finally call queue.add obrec. So this will be added to the queue. Volley also allows you to cancel already placed requests by calling functions on the queue, and you can also specify mini queue for different types of channels, so you can actually multitask pretty efficiently with the help of Volley. Then you may also catch exceptions on this whole code or process and make a toast to notify the user with the same. Now let us see what happens when I call the shorty method. In the shorty method, I try to set the text view to the response I get if it is not null, and if it is null, I again notify the user accordingly. So now this is here the role comes to play. Now whatever JSON object that I'm getting in response, I call that JSON object variable name, and I use the get method of the JSON object, which is defined by the class JSON object. And basically what happens is, for example, I'm passing the value of the key in get and I'm getting the value. So if my JSON object has a key latitude and the value as the actual latitude, I will call response.get, and then I will pass the string latitude as an argument, as I have done here. So this will get me the latitude, and then I am again calling toString method to be on the safer side and convert the output to string, force convert the output to string, and I am concatenating it with an empty string for more safety reasons, and then I am using this to put it into the text view accordingly. So here I have just repeated the process by getting the different types of keys and then retrieving values from them, such as IP, and then displaying them accordingly. So this is how I am actually working with Volley, and also parsing my JSON and displaying it, getting the values or the data from my JSON. That's the response I've received from some in a particular format, predefined format. You may also have a website from where your app can interact in a specific way. Be sure to implement any security method or any kind of cryptographic method, so to be on the safer side. So this is how it will go on, and the latitude and longitude will be displayed in respective fields. And this was all about Volley and showing the data from the server.